Welcome back, asset builders. You are tuned into Happy Homes Portfolio Power Ups, the show where we give you the blueprint for profitable real estate. We are moving into the late fall and early winter, and that means we are hitting the season that can deliver the most shocking, expensive headaches: winter damage. A single burst pipe from a preventable freeze can mean a $10,000 insurance claim and months of lost rent. That's why we preach: manage for today, invest for tomorrow. Protecting your asset now prevents losses later. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce one of our key property managers, Megan, who is specialized in seasonal readiness and tenant relations. Megan, thanks for joining us. You deal with the frontline reality of winter prep. What's the biggest threat to cash flow this time of year?
Hi Laura, thanks for having me. Honestly, the biggest threat is just people getting complacent, and that can go for both owners and tenants. Everyone thinks that it won't happen to me, but the frozen pipe in the crawl space and the sheet of ice on the roof happens almost every single year. My job is to make sure that we stay on top of these things and we don't let a minor cold snap turn into a huge mess.
That's right. Let's start outside. This is where the most common failures occur. What are the top 3 preventative tests that Happy Homes handles to prevent a major 5-figure claim?
That's a really good question. We focus on the big 3. So the first is the exterior water shutoff. We locate and turn off the main water supply to all outside spigots, making sure the hoses are disconnected and ideally covered. The second would be the annual winter emails to all tenants. So around October of each year, we send all tenants a fall winter email, which outlines proactive steps for tenants to take. A few of these steps include outdoor maintenance, such as the exterior water shutoff, interior plumbing, and window/door insulation. The third and final preventative task is dripping faucets on vacant properties. So we make sure that all faucets are on and dripping when temperatures in Charleston get at or below freezing. Although this doesn't happen all the time in Charleston, it's still extremely important for a preventative standpoint and avoids costly plumbing bills and claims down the line.
These small steps that your tenants can take make your home safer and more comfortable as the seasons change. Let's move inside. Beyond pipes and safety of the HVAC and the appliance maintenance are key, especially since they are directly related to tenant safety and comfort. Mm-hmm. How do you, as a property manager, ensure compliance with these tests, like filter changes?
Mm-hmm. So this is where technology saves us. Automation is not a luxury, it's your profit margin. So a dirty filter forces the furnace to essentially work harder, which drives up your utility bills, reduces its overall lifespan, and might create a potential fire risk, which is a huge no-no. We also ensure that all residents are changing out their air filters about 2 to 3 months with our resident benefits package program, which this kind of guarantees the home's heating and cooling systems will keep your tenants cozy.
And what about the most serious checks?
Mandatory annual furnace servicing is non-negotiable. This prevents carbon monoxide leaks, which is the gravest risk. We also test all smoke and carbon monoxide detectors during our annual inspection. We document every single check to protect the owner from liability.
That's important. Megan, let's talk about the nightmare scenario, the emergency call. Mm-hmm. Say a major snowstorm hits and temperatures drop, and we have a burst pipe. Mm-hmm. Who do you rely on in these situations, and how a rigorous tenant screening can help you in this crisis?
Mm-hmm. So in these scenarios, we rely on our incredible vendor network and resident communication. If a pipe bursts, then we need to know immediately so we can minimize damage and send a tech out right away. This is why we say that your property is only as good as your tenant screening process.
That's a great point. Can you tell us how?
Mm-hmm. So a tenant who goes through our screening process is almost always someone who will call the 24/7 emergency maintenance line the second that they see water. A tenant who did not go through a more rigorous and thorough screening process will likely ignore a slow drip until the ceiling probably collapses.
Yeah.
Our screening just minimizes the chance of that neglect.
Yeah, that's very important. Megan, that's a phenomenal breakdown. The proactive effort in October clearly dictates the profitability in January. To our listeners, the cost of prevention is always lower than the cost of remediation. Budgeting for maintenance, executing winterization, and securing responsible residents are how you make your passive income truly passive. Avoiding that one big winter disaster is how you ensure don't just collect rent, but maximize your yield. Megan, thank you for sharing your expertise.
Of course, stay warm and stay proactive.
You heard it here. If you're tired of dealing with seasonal headaches and emergency maintenance, find out how Happy Homes can handle it for you. Check the show notes and you're going to find a link to our comprehensive winterization checklist. Join us next week as we dive into mastering rental pricing and the ROI of upgrades with our lead property manager, Shelby. Until then, keep building that empire.